Okay, welcome in. I'm now going to be reviewing Thursday's action from the National Hockey League. The first game took place in Montreal as the Canadiens played host to the Los Angeles Kings. In the first period, Justin Barron would get his first goal of the season for the Montreal Canadiens, assisted by Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. 7 minutes and 2 seconds of the third, the Canadiens struck first. They had a 1-0 lead. With just under 2 minutes to go, Mikey Anderson would tie the game up, getting his first goal of the year from Gavrikov and Kempe. So we're all tied up at 1 heading into the second period. Alex Lafreniere would get his third goal of the season, assisted by Spence and Turcotte, a minute and 37 seconds into the second, giving the Kings a 2-1 lead. With just under 3 minutes to go in the third, Andreas Ekblad would get his first goal of the season from Byfield, making it 3-1 in favor of LA. And then with the empty net and the goalie pulled, I should say, Adrian Kempe would strike, getting a shorthanded marker, an empty net goal from Gavrikov and Kopitar with 48 seconds to go. The Kings would leave Montreal with a 4-1 win. Now we're off to Ottawa as the Senators played host to the New Jersey Devils. This is very out of focus. Let's try this again. Why is this so out of focus? Come on. Work with me. Why am I out of focus? Come on. Can't even see anybody. Could I hold that? Okay, hold on a second. Let's try this. Is this any better? No. Why is this camera so out of focus? There we go. Still doesn't look that good. Oh my goodness. Why is it so terribly out of focus? Okay. I'll have to hold it. It's going to be wobbly. I apologize. But the only way I can get it in focus is if I hold it, which is very odd. This has never happened before. Why? How do I do this? Let's make it worse or better. Okay. There. I think I fixed it. There. I just can't touch it. The Senators played host to the New Jersey Devils. There was no scoring in the first. Second period, Eric Holla would break the tie, getting his first goal of the year from Kovacevic and Meyer just over 2 minutes into the second period. Nathan Batson would get his first goal of the season just over 6 minutes into that same period. A shorthanded marker, the Devils had a 2-0 lead heading into the third period. Paul Cotter would get his fifth goal of the season, increasing the lead to 3-0, assisted by Hamilton and Dillon, 12 minutes and 39 seconds of the third period. Brady Tkachuk would finally break the tie, getting his first goal of the year, a power play marker from Giroux and Sanderson. Unfortunately, it was too late to mount a comeback. 3-1 would be the final score in favor of the Devils. Okay, now we're off to Tampa Bay as the Lightning played host to the Vegas Golden Knights. So in the first period, Braden McNabb would get his first goal of the year from Stone and Eichel, 5 minutes and 26 seconds of the first, giving the Vegas Golden Knights a 1-0 lead. Janice Moser, I believe, would get his first career NHL goal, assisted by Atkinson and Lilleberg, 10 minutes and 21 seconds of the first, tying the game up at 1. Paul Dorofiev would get his second goal of the year, a power play marker from Theodore and Eichel, 15 minutes and 20 seconds of the first, giving the Golden Knights a 2-1 lead at that point. With just 13 seconds to go, Nikita Kucherov would tie the game up, getting his fifth goal of the year, assisted by Gensel. So heading into the second period, we were all tied up at 2. In the second, just the one goal to report. Arvid Barbashev would give the Vegas Golden Knights a 3-2 lead, his fourth of the season, assisted by Shea Theodore, a minute and 59 seconds of the second period. Brandon Hagel would score late in the third, getting his second goal of the season from Chaffee and Moser, 2 minutes and 12 seconds, 2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining on the clock. And then with just under a minute to go, Nikita Kucherov would break the tie, getting his second goal of the game and sixth of the season from Hedman and Moser. So 4-3 would be the final score in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Alrighty, now we're off to Vancouver. We're off to Florida, I apologize, as the defending Stanley Cup champions played host to the defending Pacific Division champions. Teddy Blueger would give the Canucks a 1-0 lead, getting his second goal of the season from Sherwood and DeBrusk, 11 minutes and 42 seconds of the first period. Jesper Brokvist would get his first goal of the season from, Sam Oskevich and Forsling, just 11 seconds after that, tying the game up at 1. In the second period, Quinn Hughes would get his first goal of the season from Heinen and Amman, just over 6 minutes into the second period. Anton Lundell would get his fourth goal of the year, tying the game up at 2, a power play marker from Verhaeghe and Reinhardt, with exactly a minute to go in the second period. So we're all tied up at 2 after 2 periods. There was no scoring in the third. We would need overtime to settle this one, and JT Miller would get the game-winning goal, his second of the season, from Hughes and Besser, 2 minutes and 9 seconds of the overtime period. So the Canucks would win this game 3-2. Alrighty, now we're off to Washington as the Capitals played host to the Dallas Stars. In the first period, Colin Blackwell would get his first goal as a member of the Dallas Stars, assisted by Bach, 12 minutes and 19 seconds of the first, a short-handed marker as well. In the second period, Tom Wilson would break the tie, getting his third goal of the year from Dubois and McMichael, just 55 seconds of the second period. Dylan Strome would break the tie, getting his second goal of the season from Carlson and Protas, 6 minutes and 15 seconds of the second period. Jason Robertson would then tie the game up with just under 7 minutes to go, his second goal of the year from Hintz and Johnston. And then late in the second period, yes, we are in the second period, Taylor Radish would get his first goal as a member of the Washington Capitals. That goal happened with 2 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the second, and that was actually the game-winning goal. There was no scoring in the third. So the Capitals would win this game by a final score of 3-2. Okay, now we're off to Columbus as the Blue Jackets played host to the Buffalo Sabres. Yegor Chinnikov would kick things off for the Blue Jackets in the first period, getting a power play goal, his second of the season from Werenski and Ken Johnson, 5 minutes and 12 seconds of the first frame. Kirill Marchenko would get his second goal of the year unassisted with 32 seconds to go, giving the Blue Jackets a 2-0 lead heading into the second period. Ryan McLeod would get his second goal as a member of the Buffalo Sabres from Zucker and Greenway just over 9 minutes into that second, cutting the deficit in half. Adam Fantilli would increase the lead to 3-1, getting his second goal of the year from Werenski and Provorov, 12 minutes and 18 seconds of the second frame. Yuri Kulich, I would believe, would get his first career National Hockey League goal from Cousins and Joki Raju. If I said that name correctly, I guarantee I didn't. Cutting the deficit to 3-2, 17 minutes and 29 seconds of the second period. And with just over 2 minutes to go, Matthew Olivier would get his first goal of the season from Sillinger and Christensen, increasing the lead to 4-2 at that point. Owen Power would strike, getting the Sabres their third goal of the game, the second of the season, unassisted with 25 seconds to go in the second, making it 4-3 in favor of the Blue Jackets. Zachary Aston Reese, who was acquired by the Sabres by the Blue Jackets, I believe, would make it 5-3 at that point from Christensen and Olivier, just 15 seconds into the third. Damon Severson would get his first goal this season from Marchenko, 8 minutes and 10 seconds of the third, making it 6-3 at that point. J.J. Peterka would get his third goal of the season from Thompson and Rasmus Dahlin with 2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. But unfortunately, the Sabres weren't able to mount a comeback, so 6-4 would be the final score. Alrighty, now we're off to Detroit, an original six matchup as the Red Wings host to the New York Rangers. In the first, Artemi Panarin would get his third goal of the year from Trocheck and Lafreniere just over 8 minutes into that first period. He would strike again with just over 4 minutes remaining, getting his fourth of the season, a power play marker from Fox and Trocheck. So it was 2-0 for the Rangers after 20 minutes. In the second period, Moritz Seider would get his first goal of the season from Compher and Raymond, just a minute and 27 seconds into the frame, cutting the deficit in half. Vincent Trocheck would get a power play goal of his own, increasing the lead to 3-1 for Trocheck. That'd be his second goal of the season from Panarin and Adam Fox, just over 8 minutes in to the second period. Artemi Panarin would get a hat trick, getting his second power play goal, his fifth goal of the year from Fox and Trocheck, 11 minutes and 42 seconds of the second period, increasing the Rangers' lead to 4-1. Victor Mancini, I believe, would get his first goal in the National Hockey League from Kakko and Cheadle, and that goal happened 12 minutes and 20 seconds of the second, giving the Rangers a 5-1 lead heading into the third period. JT Compher would strike, getting the lone goal in the third. For Compher, that'd be his second goal of the season, a power play goal from Sherratt and Gustafsson, and that goal happened 16 minutes and 41 seconds into the third period. So 5-2 would be the final score in favor of the Blue Shirts. Speaking of blue, the St. Louis Blues, they were in action taking on the New York Islanders. There was no scoring for the entire 60 minutes. They would need overtime to settle this one. And with 2 minutes and 4 seconds into the overtime frame, Jake Neighbors would get the first goal of the season from Broberg and Hoffer. So, not too terrible. And Hoffer was actually the goaltender that was starting for the Blues, so he got his shutout in that one. And 3 stars, the 2 goalies, and the lone goal. Not too surprising. So, yeah, 1-0 will be the final in favor of the Blues. Alrighty, now we're off to Nashville as the Predators played host to the Edmonton Oilers. 2 teams coming into this matchup not doing that well to start the season out, but who knows how the season will end. Only one way to find out. So in the first period, Philip Forsberg would get his second goal of the season from Yossi and Ryan O'Reilly. That was 11 minutes and 46 seconds of the first frame. Brett Kulak would get his first goal of the season from Janmark, 17 minutes and 39 seconds of the first, so we're all tied up at 1 after 1. Jeff Skinner would get his second goal of the season from Nurse, 10 minutes and 50 seconds of the second, giving the Oilers a 2-1 lead. Jonathan Marchessault would finally get his first goal as a Nashville Predator, a power play goal from Yossi and Saros, and that goal happened with 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go on the clock. With a minute and a half remaining, Connor McDavid would break the tie, getting his first goal of the year from Ekholm and Leon Draisaitl, giving the Oilers a 3-2 lead heading into the third. Late in the third, with that pulled, Brett Kulak would strike, getting an empty net goal, his second goal of the game, obviously his second goal of the season, unassisted, so the Oilers would get the win in this matchup. I'll go over the standings when I'm all caught up to date, but I believe the Predators were still winless up to this point, and for the Oilers, they needed this win after the poor start. We'll see how they did for the remaining of the schedule. All right, that's going to take care of that night. No, there's still more action. Sorry, I have two more games to cover. So the Blackhawks played host to the San Jose Sharks. In the first, Taylor Hall will get his first goal of the year from TJ Brodie just over 4 minutes into the frame, giving the Blackhawks a 1-0 lead. Tyler Bertuzzi, who was acquired in the offseason, will get his first goal as a member of the Chicago Blackhawks, a power play marker from Tara Vinen and Connor Bedard. Heading into the second period, the Blackhawks had a 2-0 lead. In the second period, the captain, Nick Foligno, will get his his third goal of the season, a power play marker from Tara Vinen and Connor Bedard, less than a minute into the second frame. With under 2 minutes to go, Tyler Toffoli would strike, giving the Sharks on the board his third of the season from Eklund and Granlund. Heading into the third period, it was 3-1 in favor of Chicago. Jason Dickinson would increase the lead to 4-1, getting his first goal of the season from Anderson, 2 minutes and 19 seconds of the third. And Fabian Zetterlund would score 2 minutes and 52 seconds of that same frame, his second of the season from Granlund and Eklund. But unfortunately for the Sharks, they weren't able to mount a comeback, so 4-2 would be the final score. The Seattle Kraken played host to the Philadelphia Flyers, the last game from Thursday. Scott Laughton with his first goal of the year from Paling and Hathaway, 4 minutes and 21 seconds into the frame. Brandon Montour would finally get his first goal as a member of the Seattle Kraken after being acquired from the Florida Panthers in the offseason, assisted by Chandler Stevenson and Evans, 18 minutes and 15 seconds of the first. Scott Laughton would strike with just over a minute to go in that frame, his second goal of the game from Hathaway and Paling, so the Flyers had a 2-1 lead heading into the second period. Jared McCann would tie the game up, getting his third goal of the year from Burakovsky and Dunn, a power play marker just over 3 minutes into the frame. Eli Tolvainen would break the tie with just over 5 minutes to go, his second of the season from Burakovsky and Shane Wright. Jordan Eberle would strike with over 2 minutes to go, getting his fourth of the season from McCann and Gord. Shane Wright would get his first goal of the season from Eberle and McCann, and that goal happened just 8 seconds after Eberle scored, so the Kraken had 5 goals. They were up 5-2, I should say, heading into the third period. Cam York would cut the deficit to 5-3, getting his second goal of the season from Lawton and Brink, 10 minutes and 19 seconds of the third. And then, with about 7.5 minutes to go, Jamie Drysdale would cut the deficit to 5-4, getting his first goal of the season, a power play marker, assisted by Michkov. Oliver Bjorkstrand would increase the lead to 6-4, getting his second goal of the season from Schwartz and Larson. And that goal happened 14 minutes and 52 seconds of the third period. And that's where we would stand at the end of regulation. I was going to take care of Thursday's recap from the National Hockey League. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, and as always, take care.